Welcome back to Laughter Permitted's Pod on the Pot.
The podcast, as some of our fans have dubbed it.
Our final pod on the pot, literally. And Lynn.
Yes, Jules?
This one does not stink. So, without further ado, we are sitting in the Ritz-Carlton in the toilet area with Ms. Julie Ertz and Crystal Dunn. 3 World Cup titles between them. Julie went and played collegiately at Santa Clara, and Crystal Dunn is a Tar Heel. She played at UNC. So, get comfortable listening. It's Julie and Crystal.
Kick back, relax, and unwind. Let's have a good time, finding the joy in life. We're smiling so bright, talking and laughing combined. Feeling alright, get comfortable listening. It's laughter permitted.
Okay, so the first thing we do, and this one's going to be extra special, is we set the scene.
Oh, gosh.
Because we used to do this with the 99ers with the camera. I'd be like, okay, set the scene for me. So, do you guys want to please
Do they want to know?
Yes, please set this scene.
We are sitting on Julie Foudy's toilet.
Pod on the pot.
Yes. Pod on the toilet is what we are doing. That's the new name of this.
Pod on the pot. In my house, when I call and I'll be like, Izzy, where's Declan? And she'll be like, he's on the pot. Do you call it a pot?
No, but I've heard it before.
It's an English thing. It's my husband's English.
Yeah, I was about to say, maybe,
They also say the toilet there.
they do say toilet.
Or the loo.
Everything's toilet, loo.
Pot on the loo.
Yeah.
Pod on the
So
loo.
when I asked for the restroom there, they're like,
Toilet?
The toilet's over there. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, all right, well.
Only Americans, I feel like, call it restrooms. Because we're like, restroom. What are we? I don't know. We're resting in there? I don't know what.
The water closet.
Oh, I like that one too.
Yeah, WC. We do see WC everywhere.
It's a fancy bathroom. I mean,
it's nice.
Yeah,
It's
it's
nice.
At least we're at the
It
Ritz.
feels super clean in here. I don't really feel like I'm in a bathroom. It's just,
Oh, and do you want the donuts that are on the toilet too? No, they're by the sink. Do you guys
They're
want a
by the
donut, by
sink.
the way? This is our tradition.
I'm good. I'm watching my figure right now.
Really? None?
I'll have one.
Not a girl,
She's
Jules.
lying.
Come on, Jules.
I saw what
Crystal.
she chose to eat.
Oh, I mean,
I know.
I may need help.
Jules, don't tell my business.
Come on.
Goodness.
Thanks, Lynn. Come on, they're good.
I like that.
Stands.
I'm doing
Stands
the
donut
stand.
shop.
Oh,
I'm going
I'm
to do
at
this one. Okay, I'm going to do this one.
This one's filled with like creamy stuff.
Thank you.
Oh, this is the one I want.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Now you can hear me munching.
Yeah, that's part of it. I love it. That's how
Isn't
I
that
am the
called
entire
something?
podcast. Okay, so you guys are like besties.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we are.
Let's start there. How you met, how you became besties. Can you describe that relationship, either one of you or both of you at the same
All right,
time?
the
Okay, you
meeting's
go
different
first.
than when we like got really close. So,
Yeah.
First time I've ever actually seen Crystal. Again, no surprise. She can totally take the whole energy of a room. So, and under my first time I've ever like traveled was under 14. It was with ODP, and we were going to Costa Rica.
Yes.
That was like my first like international ever. But I went with Region 4. She's Region 1, and so we went out for a like
Like a
dinner.
social gathering to like get all the 4 regions kind of.
The regions
Yeah.
and the other teams, like we were playing Panama was there,
yeah.
Costa Rica was there, so there's like other teams there, and it was just at this big place, whatever. And there was music, of course, like, so Crystal was dancing, and then
Of course she was.
so that was like
14
the
years old
first
dancing,
time,
yep.
like I like really obviously saw her, played against a little bit, didn't know her, but like
Yeah.
clearly everyone wants to know her. And but Region 1 and 4 actually got on the same bus back to get back to the hotels. So that was like the first time I've actually ever seen her. And then obviously I don't need to tell you about her like youth career with the US youth. Like it was amazing and just went up and up. So I saw her the outside. I was just, waving and waiting for my second to talk
Julie
to her.
had a distinct a way of wearing her socks, and that was literally how I was like, okay, that girl has like something about her that I'm like,
You're like,
high socks. Like I'm sure you're wearing a headband. You were wearing a headband or something.
Don't even talk. I'm so embarrassed.
Okay.
That I chose what to wear.
You were wearing headbands and high socks, and then I remember when I saw her with like more youth like national team stuff. I was like, that's the girl. I know that girl right there with the high socks.
did you literally say high socks?
Well,
Because
no,
that's
but
great.
my region definitely knew her. I was like,
By the time
girl
she
with high
came
socks.
back, you know, she was playing up on the 20s. So when she came back to like her actual age with us, I moved my socks moved down. So I wore them really low.
You were over the high socks.
Yeah, and now they're back. You know.
But I would say how like Jules and I really got like close was definitely like our U20 journey, which was like so special because, you know, I think youth national team camps is like, you think that that's like everything, you know what I mean? It's so incredible to like actually be representing your country at such a young age, and you feel like, you know, those are World Cups. You're like, I'm playing in a World Cup. And yeah, our U20s was when we were like, let's get through this. You know, it was not an easy journey. We had a good team. We were really
This
good.
is the 2012 team,
2012 team. We were really good.
And we both ended up being defenders.
Yeah, we both were defenders. We were in the back
I was on the right side.
You
I
were
was center back, and she was on the right side.
So you were right next to each other on the under 20s.
Right next to each other.
About that.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I remember when our team lost to Germany, like 3-0, and we were like, well, that's the end of the road for us. But no, it wasn't. We ended up
seeing them again in the final.
Seeing them again in the final and beating them in the final.
That game, actually.
I'm pretty sure you did.
Yeah.
I think you did.
And then I remember meeting you at Brandy's event right after that. And I was like, bam, sister.
Bam, we did it.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
It was really fun. And then fast forward, you know, we get our call up to this team.
Together.
At the same time, we get our caps in the
What
first
year
caps.
was that?
2013, January.
Mm-hmm. Under Tom, we both got our first cap. Different games, but the same camp. So we just came into this environment together, and we've gone through so much, obviously, on the youth teams. And
Step by step.
every step of the way, wherever Julie goes, I'm like, I'm right there. I'm right there with you. I'm like, Jules, where are you going? She's like, coffee. I'm like, I'll be there in a minute.
We like our cap by cap too. You see our caps even going like this too. Like, just like everything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
For those non-soccer listeners, that's international games.
Oh, yeah,
so
people always
as one,
ask that.
Yeah, cap.
yeah, people are always like, what are caps?
It's not a baseball cap.
Yeah. What are you at cap-wise? What are your caps?
95.
Oh, Dunner.
Mm-hmm. And
I think I'm at 93 as of
yeah,
tomorrow.
we're right there.
Hit 100 right together.
Yeah, we're going to be probably, hopefully, giving each other speeches, like, back to back. I'll be
We're
now
like
your
the
turn,
most
sit.
like emotional too. So like our speeches are going to just be us crying.
I cry all the time. Like,
She's very empathetic.
I literally cringe.
But that's the right word, right?
Yeah.
I never want to say that's a
Yeah.
bad thing. No, like in a great way. Like
Yeah.
she'll feel everything for you.
Yeah, we were both obviously celebrating Krieger's 100th last game, and I had to say some words, and I actually got through my speech
Yeah, you
to
did
Kriegs.
good.
I did well. I sat down, and then Ash shared some words, and I lost it. And then I look over, Jules and I sit in the same row. She's losing it too, and I go,
Nobody else is crying. And just us two.
it's just us two. I was like, this is so
Tobin
embarrassing.
sits in the middle of us. She goes, "Geez, you guys."
Get it together.
We were like, but it was so beautiful.
It's so beautiful. It's so
Why
beautiful.
aren't you crying?
Yeah, we both definitely
We
wear our
cried for her.
hearts on
That's
our
what we
sleeves.
What was said?
I don't know.
I mean,
that was personal.
it's personal, but
It was
like,
great.
I
It was
think everyone
great.
knows Kriegs is just incredible, and she is somebody on this team that everyone connects with, and she's just incredible. So I just felt like I was so emotional about it because I was like, she deserves to be celebrated, and that's
boy,
really
that's a journey.
It's journey,
Right? Talk about a journey.
Yeah.
journey for sure.
Went into the darkness for a little bit.
Yeah,
And then she just kept fighting through
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. I know we've already hit on 2015, so I'm not going to revisit that. But just because you're such close friends, I know, having lived through it as well, when someone that you love dearly on the team, you know, is the last one cut and you're going and Crystal's not in 2015, how did you handle that, Jules?
It was weird. Like I think Crystal and I've talked about like that's your ride or die, like somebody there that's through. That I've seen how hard she works. Of course, like I, know and want her there and believes that she like could be there. And on top of that was really weird. I was given 19. I know we ever talked about that.
It's weird because I didn't really need I kind of like the number, but I wasn't like.
For some, like, that's just what her number was. So when I was wearing it, it was weird. A weird feeling to wear 19.
I didn't know that.
But you had me with you.
I did. And like, that's really sweet to say, but it's like right when we came back and Crystal, I mean, the next game was, she was in that camp. Where were we? The
Victory
first game
Tour
back?
games.
Like she was right back in and it was just like, I literally couldn't wait to give it back to her. I'm like, that's yours.
I was like, Jules, do you like 19? Can I have this number? You were like, yeah, take it. I really don't want this number. I was like, great.
But like, it's like weird things, and like you know how it is. Like everyone, you have a connection to you have connection to weird things: cleats, shin guards,
Underwear.
undergarments at all costs, like everything. And so like it's the whole thing of like, you know, and not even just on the field. I can talk a million things of what I love about how Crystal's on the field, but I mean in the locker room too. I mean, she's just such a force in there as well. So yeah, obviously they don't want to like talk about 215 because I mean it's made her who she is. And
I mean, exactly. I think that's the moral of the story. Like I was like, so I tried my best to be like so supportive every step of the way that I could be, but of course like it's hard. Anyone knows that it's really hard to just you know, be all in watching the games and being like, oh, this is great. Like I wasn't just a fan at that point. I was like, wow, I could be there. Like it's different than being like rooting for the girls. It's kind of like, oh, I could be one of the girls there, you know. But no, I mean,
should be, I would say.
I mean, yeah, and the moral of the story too is like I kind of go back to 2015. I was like, honestly, other than missing out on the World Cup, which is a huge thing, it's not like a small thing, obviously. Like, I mean, I had a really great professional career, like a season that year. So I was like, wow, 2015 was actually okay for me. Oh, and I met my boo there. Yeah. So I forgot about that story.
Missed a World Cup, gained a husband.
Was like stalkerish kind of, but I couldn't be a stalker if I was away with the World Cup. So
that story is so phenomenal. I know we covered it in the podcast with you, but to find Pierre, who's French, and then you go on to the next World Cup, and he's in the stands in France, coming full circle.
Yeah. Which is with his family from France.
I know.
Yeah.
He had to root for the U.S., and he made the right decision. But
crazy. It's crazy. Okay, so let's forget 2015.
Throw that out.
Go to 2019, because now you're going to Crystal's first World Cup, but you're going together. When you found out, and you knew, of course, that she was going to make the team, but did you have a moment there at all? Did you guys discuss?
Did we have like a moment?
I think it was just, I'm trying to like remember now. I should write this stuff down. Crystal journals, like journals
everything.
So everything's documented. I'm
every day.
Every day.
That is so good.
It's so therapeutic, and I need it because like our lives are crazy. So like I find 10 minutes every night to just like write down something. If Julie said something funny, I'm sure it's in my diary.
I used to do that all the time with the national team.
Yeah. It's important.
Yeah,
I'm telling Jules she needs to start. I think 2020
I need to.
Is the
it's
time to
so
start.
Good.
Yeah.
It's so healthy too to just give yourself some quiet time to write.
Yeah.
Okay, for the 99 World Cup, I documented every single day.
You had the you had the videos and the diary,
and I was diarying, but nothing like I wasn't thinking like for a book or anything. I just was writing. Right, I wanted to capture it. Like, okay, I want to remember this moment.
Yeah.
When we win the World Cup, we go to the White House. We're at the White House celebrating with the Clintons and everyone else. And Hillary says to us, Hillary Clinton says, would you, Hillary, first name only, me and Hill. She said to the team, do you want to go with us down to Cape Canaveral? Canaveral? Is that right? Where they do the launching of the space shuttles?
That sounds right.
We're just going to go with it.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about
It's in
NASA.
Florida. And you want to get on Air Force 2 or whatever they fly to go down to the Cape with a bunch of female senators and Congress members, and we'll bring the team and we'll go watch because there was a woman astronaut. And we go, yeah. So we all jump on the plane, this charter plane with all, with the first lady, with all these women senators. And I think I was journaling on the plane. I left it on the plane.
You left it on the plane? They didn't return it to you?
No one returned it.
Oh my gosh, they have
I
all
called.
the secrets.
My friend was, like her, was in the White House, was one of her aides. I was like, Katie, you have to find this.
You probably
journal.
have it in like secret files somewhere.
They definitely have
like
it.
just thinking they're like, well,
And
they
it had
wrote
so
something
much,
down.
like-
Let's save it. Let's put
It
in
had
the
so much
archives.
juice in there.
I'm so sad right
Right?
now.
To this day, I think about that. I'm like, oh, there's so
Did
many
you ask if
moments.
She has it?
They have
Maybe
it locked
she-
away. They have it locked away.
She might.
They have
She
it
probably
stashed
like,
somewhere.
This is worth something one day.
I would keep it. Anyways, so don't lose it, but keep journaling.
I will not lose it. No.
What do you like? I don't want to. You to write about. Tell me about content.
Honestly,
but
it's not like a super long in depth. It's basically like a one pager every single night. Like I kind of just write down like how I'm feeling, anything great that's happened, anything bad that's happened that I can kind of like work myself through it. I think just writing stuff down makes you really assess differently than when you're just like thinking and you're like, I had a bad training today. All right, try to block it out and go in the next day. It's kind of like if something didn't go well that day, I jot it down and kind of try to talk myself through it. And Yeah, it's easy. I don't, overthink it. I just jot whatever I'm thinking. And
Do you ever go back and go, what?
oh yeah, I let Pierre actually read the passage of like how I was like obsessed with him basically before he even knew I like loved him, and he read it, and I swear he was like, we have to show this to our kids one day. Like, this is just, and I was like, yeah, like I'm keeping all these, so yeah, cool.
What made you start journaling?
2015. A little before 2015. I think that's when I was like, fighting through a lot of stuff. Me and Jules, I think there's a lot of passages of just like our conversations where we're like, dude, I'm struggling. This is, this is hard. We want to prove ourselves. We want to constantly stay in this environment, but it's difficult. And I think that's really what got me started. So like my first passage was definitely maybe December of 2014. Was that the Brasilia trip?
Yes.
Brasilia. Yeah. There are some passages I'm like, I remember this day very, very clearly.
What happened in Brasilia stays in Brasilia.
Well, I think Brasilia is just not our jam. It's not our jam. We went there for that
wasn't for us.
We went there for that mini tournament in 2014 and
weather was,
tied Argentina and then ended up losing.
No.
Oh, beat Argentina,
tied China,
lost to Brazil.
Won Brazil and then had to play them again.
But we ended up losing the tournament. We
technically
didn't win the tournament, so we go all the way to Brasilia, don't win the tournament. Brasilia is also where our Olympic run ended against Sweden. It was in Brasilia. So Brasilia is just, we don't want to go back.
Do not go back to Brasilia.
We're not going back.
Brasilia.
One more question about the journaling. What made you think to do it?
I'm one of those people that I like to assess. Maybe it's a fault of mine because I'm almost over-assessing, over-analyzing. But I think, just like I said, writing things down is a way for me to take a step back, really put it out there how I feel and kind of work through the problems versus just sitting there in anger and being like, I'm mad today. Like this happened. I kind of write it down and I say, okay, how can I prepare for the next day? How can I change the way I'm feeling about this situation? Because I do think sometimes I am over dramatic. There are instances where I'm like, no, just a little bit.
Julie's shaking her head no.
So sometimes,
and that wasn't a sarcastic no. That felt like an endearing no.
Yeah. So sometimes I do think problems are bigger than they maybe are, but if I write things down, then I can see, oh, okay, there's a way to solve this. There's a way to change my outlook on this and just tackle the next day in a better way.
Damn, Dunner, that's healthy.
Me trying to be mature, me and Jules are middle aged, but we're slowly on this team getting to be veteran, and like it's kind of scary. We're just like, whoa.
Yeah, we're like, when they like separate the groups between older and younger, we hit the cutoff when they're like, are we separating because I'm April and she's July, so it's like we're almost like sometimes separated off of that, and I'm like, dude, we're right there.
Yeah.
We're not young.
We're pushing. We're not young anymore. We are not young.
We literally are so close to becoming on that.
That's funny because Lynn and I were talking about that. Not that the fact that you were young, but that you guys are like that middle sister.
We're right center.
You're like the middle child.
Yeah.
Because you're right in the middle. You weren't the younger group that came in. You're not the veteran group. How many more would you put in that middle child category?
I mean, Mo, I guess, is middle.
So three
child.
of us? Three of us?
Three. Morgan and Brian,
Brian.
I think us three basically came in relatively the same time. Same year, within like 4 months of each other, and I think she's probably the only one I would add because then you have T, Mal, and Rose who were definitely way after us, and I think
and Lindsay and Sam came a little bit after too.
Sam,
I would say like us in the middle one, and then like I'm going middle.
Mo and Sam age wise, I think,
but I mean like also being in here.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah.
Do you feel like you're very mature in that middle role? Are you like the middle child syndrome?
Well, in comparison to the younger ones, yes.
Yes. Oh, if you see how we interact, you'll definitely be like, wow, Julie and Crystal are ancient. Because they'll like joke about stuff and we're just like, oh, I don't get it. Or I'm like, oh, was that funny? I don't know. I'm confused.
Why is everyone laughing?
I know. So, no, but they're hilarious.
They did say... They did say, because we interviewed Rose and Sam together, and we were talking about their choreographed dances that they do, and so I was like, "Wait, who does these dances?" And then they name them, and your name didn't come up, and I said,
"I sit back and I watch the shenanigans." That's what me and Jules are literally like. This is what they're doing every day.
It's so awesome to have and be around. It's lighthearted. It's fun. I laugh at it for sure.
Yeah.
It's just not my... I'm just like, I look at it and laugh because it is funny. It's just like...
hysterical.
It's just way younger
me and
than
Jules
me.
are just like, this is hilarious, but we will not be caught dead. That's choreographed dance.
Well, I go, wait, how can Dunner not be part of that? Because she is like the best. They go... She's too good.
I mean, they do a very good 1-2 step choreographic like dance. I'm not
and
about
also to like different music that I don't think Crystal like Mr. Sandman.
They did a Mr. Sandman one. Mr. Sandman.
Seriously?
And like Crystal would make it like
my jam.
like
I'd be
remixed
like,
and really
Mr.
fun.
I was like, yeah, the beat gotta drop. If the beat doesn't drop, then I can't really be a part of it. That's how I feel. But
maybe you need to help them.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun. Honestly,
they're great on their own. They're great on
fun.
their own. I love being a spectator.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's it.
The back of the bus is where it's at for sure.
Yeah, I can.
Oh, what happens
This is
the
me and
back of the
Jules.
bus?
We see
Oh,
everything.
the back of the bus is just
That's
like,
where you guys sit?
Oh yeah,
Very back.
from the beginning.
Because that was the only seat available, and that's the only seat me and Jules felt comfortable sitting in. We also
it was also the only one empty, and we just walked in the bus in
Yeah.
January and was like, "Here's our spot."
yeah. I mean, we had
right in front of the toilet.
Yeah, right in front of the
You know,
toilet.
we feel home.
Oh,
We
look
were
at it.
right
This
here.
is
I know.
perfect for you.
You like knew why we felt so at home here in the Ritz-Carlton toilet.
You know
Yeah.
what, Lynn? We're going to do every podcast on the pod going forward. This is a
We're
start
very
to
comfortable
something.
being near toilets. I will say.
Start to something very
Yes.
special. Just crawl over Lynn if you need to pee. Take us back to the summer. Best part about it, funniest part about it, most surprising part about it. Give me something different, unique that no one knows about.
Okay, hold on. I have
What's
to, like,
the
go back.
fun? Like, what was the most fun?
Tottenham was fun.
Yeah, pre-World
yeah.
Cup.
Yeah,
was
I
really
heard that
fun.
was amazing.
It was incredible. I mean, we actually all were saying, like, can we have our camps here all the time? Like, Tottenham.
It just was like such a
Let us
good
in.
way to set the stage. Like, I mean, there was literally nothing to complain
Yeah.
about. I mean, you
You and I made jokes all the time. If we had a bad training, we were like so hard on
Wait,
ourselves
we don't
because we were
deserve
like,
to be here.
we don't deserve to be here. We were like, there's nothing here that
There's
we
no
don't
excuses.
have. There's no excuses.
You had no excuse to be bad.
If you missed a pass, it was like the pitch was perfect. There was not one bump. So
you know
it
how
was on
sometimes
you.
if it's bad, you're like, oh, well, this ground is terrible.
I cannot play in this environment.
This environment, no, literally. And so, like, on top of that, it was like that, but to see how it, like, it already made it more lighthearted. Like, we just could make jokes on a different level of that kind of stuff. And,
Yeah.
I don't know,
And I
it's
heard
just
there was
fun.
a big communal room. You could sit around a fire
Oh,
pit.
yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
It was lovely. It was
was
what
lovely.
we needed. It was lovely.
It was a great start to just like getting focused, like becoming like a collective unit, knowing, I don't know, it was a great mix of like the veterans, the youth, like again with the I don't know, like it just was like a great vibe from the beginning. So we couldn't
It's
wait.
also great because weird enough, we were stranded. Like, we really couldn't go, like, you couldn't just, like, get a taxi and, like, kind of go somewhere. We were, like, that far kind of off the grid. So it forced us to actually be like, it's just me and you stuck here. We gotta, like, talk some things out, get to know each other even more. And I think that was what
I was
really
though,
great.
if we were talking about like one thing that like surprised, amount of baguettes we ate collectively
I'm
as
not
a
surprised.
team.
I was there for the
We
baguettes.
ran off of fuel of baguettes.
Yeah.
That was a huge.
Baguettes.
I ate my body weight in like baguettes and chocolate croissants in France.
Oh, we didn't. There was like some days of travel that we were allowed to go and head out to the
Yeah.
bakery, but other than that, it was like baguette.
We had to sneak
baguettes,
out to get the baguettes because Dawn was not having it.
no, I mean she like was throwing them.
Dawn
like
would not
at the
like
end.
my diet.
Donuts,
Donuts?
baguettes.
What's wrong with that? Hey, Jules, not a bad couple of years for the Ertz family, by the way. Watching Zach win, him then there, watching you win. What did he say to you after?
Just thought he was like proud of me and just like congratulations and let's go home.
He was ready to go. He was like,
let's go home.
I
Like,
know.
He's like he's such a routine guy
Yeah.
that this like he made sure that we planned it to a T of where he's going to train, like made sure that his routine could be as similar as possible.
yeah.
While
So
he was
that
there.
because like the worst thing is him to be there and me know that he was like, am I getting my workout and am I doing this and that? Because like that's obviously the kind of athlete that he is. But
Pierre showed up too at some
oh
point.
yeah, and then Pierre obviously he's a PT or AT.
yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a genius. So obviously having him there too was awesome. So they went to the gym together. So we had a gym guy. Like I couldn't wait for Pierre to show up. Obviously for Crystal mental state, but then
was
also my mental state for Zach's sake.
Yeah, honestly,
He
also
took care of
the
him
whole
while he
did.
the whole language thing too must have been so hard for Zach because he was like literally going around looking for gyms and having to communicate what he wanted in a gym to like people who didn't speak great
In Lyon,
English.
yeah, 'cause
In
we had
Lyon.
everything set up before
Oh yeah,
Lyon.
in Paris it was pretty set up, and then
Just
Pierre
point
shows
to your
up and he's just
biceps.
like.
These. Where do I make these
I
bigger?
need to make these.
But it was
see the gut
great,
show?
yeah. So it was just like really fun to be able to, because he was there in 2015. But it's just different, It was early on in my career. I think looking back, I took a lot of things for granted that I wish I kind of just like really. I don't know. I mean, you're young, first big tournament of like on the full national team. And I was like, wow, this is great. You always get to a final. Like, this is fantastic. Like, and don't get me wrong. Like, I totally.
This is so easy.
No, not at all like that. Like,
Oh my God.
No, honestly, when I saw the girls come back, I was like, yeah, y'all, that was not easy. People were
No, and it definitely wasn't. But
was a grind.
Yeah.
it was a
grind.
grind. And every tournament's a grind. Like, I don't want to say that it was easy. No,
I'm
because
kidding.
it wasn't.
That was
But
good.
like, in general, I think after it, I was like, well, like, I think like if I had a different approach, if I had a different whatever, and that was how I went into it 2019 of just be like, I have a different perspective, like, and in the 4 years, everyone has their own different journey in 4 years.
Yeah.
And you look at Crystal's, you look at my story, and the entire team, there's 23 different stories. So, I think for me, like, this celebrating with Zach, I wanted to make sure that it was like I stopped and not just like gave him a hug and looked around and whatever. I wanted to stand there and be like, thank you for supporting me. Thank you for being here. I wanted to take a moment where it was like a pure like family moment versus like, getting whisked away and looking away at all the a million things that go on at once.
Which is hard to do, honestly, because it's so crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Like, you have to literally like straight arm everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they had way better seats this year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
They were good. The family section was good. I sat in
It was
there for a
really
while.
good. Yeah.
They were good.
So I like in the anthem, I could see him he towers over the other
I
family
know.
members. So
I literally always saw Zach. I go, Zach's there. And then I would always look to the right. Pierre's there.
Yeah.
Wherever Zach is,
Yeah.
I can find everybody.
Yeah. Pierre helped Lynn too. In France.
I had encounters with both of your husbands in Paris. I went to the France game. And Julie was kind enough to get me tickets, so I had to pick them up at her hotel, and she was staying at the family and friends hotel. So I took an Uber from my hotel to there, and as the Uber was approaching the hotel, I noticed this like really tall, very handsome gentleman on the corner of a street. And I'm tall, so I'm just programmed to notice really good-looking tall guys. Sorry, Julie. And then as I'm approaching, I'm like, oh, that's Zach Ertz. Okay.
I'll stop drooling now.
Right.
I know. It's like, okay,
taken.
He's taken. Dang it.
So then I pick up my ticket. I have no idea where I am, and especially in relation to the stadium. So because I just Ubered all over Paris,
Yeah.
I didn't even bother with the metro.
I just scootered.
Julie Foudy was really
Everyone
into
was scooting. Oh my
scootering.
god,
I scooted the
seeing
entire
grown parents doing scoots too. Like my dad at some point was like, I had to scoot. I had no way. I was like,
everyone.
oh my gosh,
So fun.
wow.
So Pierre helped you in the
Yes,
subway.
because
Oh, speaking the little Francais. He's good for something. He's good for something.
the guy at the front desk said, "Oh, you can take the metro. You'll make it happen." Essentially, I did not make it happen at all. I went down there. I was clueless, and I saw your husband wearing a Dunn
yay.
shirt. He was with your father-in-law and an uncle of his, and he saved my life. I basically was like, "Can I please come to the game with you?"
Please, I recognize you from. She did from the piece we did on.
Oh yeah.
She said, I recognize you from the piece we did on Crystal.
I would still be riding the metro right now.
Yeah, that
if it
was
were for
not a
your husband.
country that like I feel like. I mean, luckily I think enough people spoke English, but I do think like it could have gotten really difficult for our parents, our family. Like could have gone bad. But it worked out. Everyone seemed to enjoy themselves.
So fun. Month in Paris.
I know.
Yes.
Loved it.
Take it.
We just literally didn't get to explore or see anything. So
I know.
that was our journey there.
I know. You get the track.
I gotta
from
try the
field
coffee
to
and the
hotel.
baguettes, so I could tell you
Yeah.
all about the French baguettes and
I
coffee.
remember your guys' first game was the last game, and
we were
every
waiting.
day in Reims, it was like, there you are at the coffee table.
Waiting. Just waiting. Next day. Waiting. Next day.
Waiting.
Do you think you'd like to go back and actually experience it and enjoy it?
I mean, Jules says no. I won't say unfortunately. Sorry, take that word back. I am gonna try and go like once a year now.
Yeah.
Pierre's parents
Yeah,
are
her
getting
family's there.
at the
Do
age
not
where
say unfortunately. Say, oh, I
I am
so excited.
They're also from the south of France, which is very different. They're not from Paris, so it's not a huge. It's very low key and just lovely. It's right by Spain, so there's a lot more chill factor, I would say. But yeah, I didn't mind France. Jules, you don't have to.
Crystal, there was this, I had never read this when I was just looking through like your Instagram accounts and stuff before this interview. The Players Tribune story the note on the plane you got from that cute kid?
Yes.
Tell that story real
my
quick.
Goodness.
Give it a little context.
Well, basically, I was playing overseas at this time, and I was traveling back from a national camp to
Chelsea.
Yeah, back to Chelsea. And, a girl stops me. She wasn't really a girl. I think she was like probably 17 or something, but she was so little.
This is on the plane.
Before, like, she was boarding the plane with
okay.
me. So we weren't on the plane yet, but she taps me and goes, "Hi, you're Crystal Dunn." I go, "Yes, I am." And she goes, "I literally play soccer because of you, and you give me so much hope that I can continue because you look like me, and it makes me feel like now I can do it because you are playing this game at the highest level." And I was just like, Jules knows, crying up a storm and stuff.
Did you start crying?
Yeah, I was like tearing up because I was like, oh my gosh. Like, and I really think, like, Jules and I speak about this all the time. Like, when we look back on, like, our career, like, it really isn't about winning World Cups, winning gold medals. It's really about how we affect and impact lives. And I think that was just a moment that I was like, wow, like, she's not saying you're such an amazing player, but more so like how I've impacted her life. And I think that was, that's what I'm going to remember most when I walk away from this game. So I think it was just like really cool, almost emotional. So I was crying up a storm. Yep.
And you can see it, you can be it.
Yep, exactly.
Have you had similar stories, Jules, of people coming up? I'm sure. Or what's your favorite one?
Some of my favorite ones are just, it's not even like favorite ones. It's just like really cool to be able to be somewhere and somebody just come up to you and genuinely just want to say time of like, not like sign this or do this, but like the genuine one of coming up and being like, I love the way that you play. I love the way that you see the game, or I'm a big fan of you and your husband because of, or like the genuine like of that they're taking the time to like see us as like people of, and a deeper level. Like I've always been, and I think that's also why Crystal and I have gotten so close, is we're just very like emotional human beings. So I think like that deeper connection of things is really special. And I think obviously that's why a story so amazing as that connects so deeply to Crystal. Yeah. And I think it's just like those small things. I mean, it's not hard daily to just say, hey, like, like I could go to Crystal, you're great, I love you. Like it's just like, so I don't know, like it's just as time kind of has gone on and I've become really, really grateful for wearing this crest and being able to do what I love. And that when people also enjoy that and see how much love that we put into the game or with each other or anything like that, I think that's just, it's not like a favorite thing, but it is really a special part of this job.
Yeah.
And I think also the thing I see in this group too, which I love in this team, is that there is a genuine desire to make it be about more than soccer, right? Like, yes, the soccer's great. And it's what our team, I thought, was so good at, right? Back in the day, it was our DNA. It was like, yeah, we want to win, of course, and we want to be standing on the top of the podium. But at the end of the day, it's those moments.
It's the journey, for sure.
Yeah, and it's the impact you're having on others and inspiring them to do something greater than they think they can.
It's also cool to see the difference too of like, I mean, of course there's so many million amazing young girls that want to be in our shoes, but it's really cool to see the difference and especially the 7 years that I've been here of young boys.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it, and I remember reading, and I think maybe that you said this, like growing up that you watched like Shaquille O'Neal and like, you know what I mean? Like in so many amazing male sports, and I watch all sports. I don't care if they're men or women, I watch everything. And so I think just the change though in the past 7 years or 8 years, I don't know, 8 years we've been here, I don't even know, been here for a while, is just like of both. And I think of everything it's not just a specific, I think everyone expects it's like young girls, but then we have like grandmas and grandpas and this and that that just like love watching soccer, and that's what it should be. And that's been a really cool growth for me to see firsthand.
And it's so healthy for the boys to see women doing these things too, which I think is great for society. Yeah. Okay, so our final 3 segments we do to close out the show every time is Lynn does a fabulous game so I can get my competitive juices out, where you squeak in with a dog toy, and then most pressing questions, and then high-low cheer. So you get to choose your dog toy.
What do you want? This one?
Jules knew she wanted the blue dog.
Julie Ertz is going for the blue dog. Crystal
I
has
sure
the
mine's
donut.
Okay.
That is so...
You're barely going to answer a question because it's not even a squeak. It's
didn't even make a noise.
For you.
Do your blue dog.
By the time you want to answer, it won't even come out.
Dying for the dog.
It's still cute though.
Don't it?
It's so cute. It's so cute.
You
I
guys
got the
just
best
buy
one.
this?
Oh, it's fast. It's
Yeah,
loud.
yours is slow.
Okay, so wait. So you ask a question, and it's
good.
first one that thinks they can answer the right answer.
Correct, and you have to squeak in.
Okay.
So the first one who squeaks in, and then the Christine Lilly rule, Julie.
Yep. I think we should lose the Christine Lilly rule because
Okay.
everyone cheats anyway.
What was
her
it?
rule?
The rule is Christine
sentence
would
has to be
squeak in.
end.
She'd be like, "What?"
Oh, after the sentence. No, do it.
Didn't hear it, but I think I can answer.
I was like, "What are you doing?"
What? 1922.
The rule was you have to wait till the
Okay,
the
that's
question
fair
is-
enough.
Okay.
or at least till almost the end.
Yeah,
All right.
okay.
Shoot, I hope I win.
This game is called Dancing Queens in honor of the best dancer on the U.S.
Dancing
Women's
Queen.
national
Wait,
team.
is this like soccer cue
Yeah,
or
what-
is this anything?
I thought you were going to say me.
Wait, are these questions
Hard second.
worldly questions or are these like on the
They're
team
all
or like
specific to dancing. So
so it actually has nothing to do with soccer. All right.
Well,
And this is why
still,
I
I
lose.
still probably won't get this.
Okay.
Like,
all right. We'll see.
I feel like I'm going to get it. I haven't heard any of these. I never know what the game is,
Okay.
for the record.
what ABC show features celebrities in ballroom dancing?
Dancing with the
Dancing
Stars.
with the Stars. I squeaked in first. I get the
You,
answer.
the sentence,
Dancing with
we
the
just
Stars.
said that you had to do when the question ended. So
I said
technically,
almost
so
to
no
the end.
technically me because I
almost
squeaked second.
almost to the end. Listen up, Jules.
well, when they
Stay
squeak
with
in,
me,
don't
Jules.
finish the sentence. Don't finish the sentence.
I think that's fair. I
Because you
felt
just
like
said
you.
ABC show and then you squeaked and then you could have just stopped. Didn't say dancing and then she wouldn't have guessed Dancing with the Stars.
True.
I think no Christine Lilly rule. If you
Yeah.
know the answer,
If they squeak,
in.
you just stop the
Okay,
sentence.
okay.
Everyone's like,
Deal.
Okay,
Fair
yeah,
enough.
fair enough.
Fair enough.
I'm still up 1-0.
I like
Oh,
that.
I knew that one though.
The line "Nobody puts baby in the corner" is from what movie?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is my,
Oh God.
era. Hold on. No one puts baby in the corner. Dirty Dancing.
Correct.
Oh, I know that movie.
I was
Nobody puts baby in the corner.
No, I only know the one
say,
scene where he catches her.
Yeah, it's a great scene.
Yeah.
I can't believe that took me that long. I'm always quoting Dirty Dancing. This is the problem with age.
Okay,
you
this is
guys.
unfortunate.
I'm up 2-0. This
Fouls
never
is
happens.
winning.
How many questions are there? Well, that makes sense.
How many questions in
No,
total?
I never.
This
win.
is the best she's ever done. This
Yeah.
is a total fluke.
All right.
Don't feel bad. Kind of feel bad.
I feel like that makes me feel worse.
I know,
that
it's
you
not
never
worse.
won, but you
Don't
beat
feel
again.
bad.
Having the best day of your life against us. No.
Definitely feel bad.
Who sings the song "Just Dance"? Julie Ertz.
Is that Lady Gaga?
Correct.
Wait, isn't there Just Dance? Is that Just Dance too?
No, that's not what the title is, though. 2-1-0.
In 2015, this ballerina broke barriers when she became the first
Choplin. Choplin.
close but not
She's
quite
I can't even say it.
Ballerina?
Yeah.
ballerina became
I was right. Chaplin.
so close.
Chamlin.
If no one else has a guess, I'll give it to you.
No, we kept just giving.
Okay,
Here's-
0.5. I'm right.
here's
know
the
what I'm
rest
talking
of-
about.
Keep going.
Here's the rest. Became the first African American woman to
Why don't I
be
know this?
She said with under
promoted to.
I got it. You know I did.
I know who you're talking about, but I really wouldn't be able to guess her name. I've seen articles.
Missy Chaplin.
Missy-
Chamlin. Missy Chamlin. Chaplin. Coplain.
Wait, what?
Missy.
Elliot.
Missy.
I said it.
That's all I know.
Oh, come on.
It's going to Julie Ertz because she's
Chaplin.
given. She's
we
so
tried
close.
to
What is
we
it?
tried
What
to
is
get
it?
her
What
on
is
the
it?
podcast.
What is
Misty Copeland.
Copeland. I gotta say there.
It was
that in my
close.
rendition.
It was close. It was close.
2-0.
I won.
All right, this one's worth all the points. What
all the
famous
points.
singer
Thank
and
you.
actress got her start as a dancer on a 1990s?
J-Lo.
Correct.
I was gonna say that too. Wait, so it's 2-1. But so it's a tiebreak.
I think. Okay, here.
No, there's no way. It's an all question. It's a 2-2-1.
The tiebreak would be who can Vogue the best.
Oh.
First one to vote?
I just wanted y'all to have a little bit of fun until I stole it all.
Yeah, that makes no sense. You can't have a one question winner.
I go, J-Lo.
I was gonna say J-Lo, but then I was like nervous that I was gonna get it wrong.
All right, next one. Most pressing questions.
Okay. No squeaks? We're done with the squeaks?
Done with the squeaks.
Yeah. Bye, little dog. You're at a club and a dance battle breaks out. Who from the national team
Crystal.
do you want on the dance floor? This is for you, Chris.
Okay.
Crystal. Who do you want on the dance floor with you to win, and why?
I would say, okay, well, Jules is my hype woman, so I need her. But you're saying like partner to like be
You got to
dancing
win the
out.
dance contest.
Okay, I would say Sonnet.
Yeah.
Sonnet, because she be having the.
She's got moves.
Yeah, she has moves.
pretty
She has
good.
like really good rhythm too. Like she
Got
can.
rhythm.
I would invite her to the club with me.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
And you take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Emily, Sonnet.
Boom.
Unless it was right after we won the World Cup, then you would choose me.
Yeah, but you're my hype woman. Where I go, you go. Where you go, I go. Like you know this already.
All right, Jules. We learned that Crystal's go-to karaoke song is "No Scrubs" from TLC.
Nice.
It's an easy song.
Yeah,
It's
it
a
is. That's a
crowd
good
pleaser.
one.
It's a crowd pleaser.
It is a crowd pleaser. Kind of like my summer lovin'. What's your go-to?
Respect by Aretha Franklin.
Oh, boom! Yes, it is.
Yo, that's a good one. And you had to like lock eyes with
Yeah,
somebody
you
like,
do.
"Aria," and they're just like looking like, is Julie
respect.
Ertz singing to me?
I respect
her. I respect her.
I respect. Hands up.
I respect her. I respect her. Oh my God, it's so funny. That's
right.
a good one, Jules.
For both. Last one. Besides a laptop or phone, what's something you always travel with?
Your journal.
My journal. And our planners. I would say we both have a planner with us, probably.
Oh, my planner. I live by
Yeah,
that.
we have.
Well, now
we
that I'm
literally
getting
will
old.
bust out our planner
My boot?
randomly. Oh yeah.
My sleeping boot.
Yeah, Jules has an
Oh,
Achilles.
It happens when it comes with
plantar
age.
fasciitis stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I slept with a boot.
It was like on her bed the other
Awful.
night, and I go, Jules, what's
that?
It's like, what is that thing?
It's basic. It was like phone, laptop, boot.
Yeah, Jules' boot, but definitely our planners are something for sure.
Oh,
I used to crawl into bed with that boot, and my husband would be like,
I mean, your foot is stiff in the middle of the night, right? It's
I
just
have
like
to take it off at like 3 a.m. because then my foot falls asleep. Zach's like, ew.
the boot is here. Dang it.
Love the boot. Okay, last segment is called High-Low Cheer. I do this around the dinner table with my children. So it's their high of the day, their low of the day, and someone or something they cheer for that's done something nice. So I'm going to do it, though, not of the day, but of your careers. Doesn't have to be soccer related. It's more like of your life. So high, low, and then cheer. Jules?
My high would get like my wedding day. Being married.
You took mine. Definitely mine
you
too.
have the same high.
Yeah, I think Jules and I both appreciate, like, I don't know, I think we both have husbands that are just like so supportive. Zach, the way I see him always like talk about you, smile whenever you are successful is like, you know, we need that. You know, we have just two strong men that I think are like, we have some badass women in our lives. And obviously my husband's in women's soccer, so I think he just like appreciates how hard we work as women and like just continually fighting.
And they're like good friends, which makes me even happier.
Yeah.
Like we can't wait to go on vacation.
I know. I'm like,
couple vacations. I'm like, we can't wait to couple vacay.
And then kids, and
Yeah.
then I'm already pushing it.
Yeah, I already told Jules
Start
like,
knocking them
later in
out.
life. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be bringing my children over to your house. Go to Auntie Ertz's.
You could live on the same block.
Yeah,
That'd be fun.
But yeah, definitely highs, abus,
Booze. Okay, lows.
lows.
I'm like going through them all. I'm like,
I know. I'm like, when did I last cry? Oh no, can't go off. That.
I think like 2017 was like an interesting time for me of like trying to figure out. I wasn't really playing. I was kind of back and forth between like where I was playing. I think for me it was like, it's funny now every time you say a low, like I'm a huge believer that like, you know, that's a testament to, you know, go through adversity and learn and grow. And like, you know, obviously everyone wants to go out on the other end after that happens. So I think for me, looking back on it, I'm a grateful time, but like it was a really low time because I think when you start questioning or trying to figure out what the next step is in your career and just life, like I think you never want to make the wrong decision. I think so when you are kind of questioned and trying to figure out what's the best way to believe in yourself but be realistic. I mean, all the million things that come in. And at our age where we were, I'm like still growing. I was young and learning I'm still learning about myself every day. So I think that would just kind of set a stage for me of trying to, you know, figure out life.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off of that actually, because I think obviously 2015 was like a bit of a low, but then, you know, I bounced back. I'm on the team. I'm kind of, you know, I feel like it's basically a high now. And then I think there was that spell of 2017, a little bit of 2018, because I was playing overseas and I felt like I was making a good decision for my career just to like do something different, new challenges. And I remember I was not in a good way pretty much on this team too. I wasn't really playing a lot. I didn't feel like I was being seen kind of playing overseas too. So I was contemplating like, whoa, did I make a good decision? I thought I did, but yet I feel like it's kind of put me in a stale place on the national team. And I think we both went through that phase of like, oh, well, things were great. Now things are not so great. And how do you really just work through it and kind of try to stay positive and see the light at the end of the tunnel? And I think, there was definitely like a year and a half that we were like, well, this is different. This is real different.
There's probably quite a few on the team like that.
I mean, everyone's had it.
Yeah,
and I think that's why it's also so relatable here is no one ever understands except for unless you're kind of in this environment. So I think that's also the hard thing too is like you're not wanting to be there to be sad and sulk and because everyone's been there and everyone respects each other and understands the grind and the journey and we understand the game. I mean, everyone wants to play. It's just gets that time in your career and really any career, everyone that I've talked to and, trying to figure out, okay, what's the next step? So, that's just
you rise above. And you rise up. I rise like the day. Okay. Your cheer. So someone you would cheer for that you're grateful for.
So many.
I mean, so many, but obviously I think I know it's like cliche kind of, but like I really am grateful for this team because I think we have such similar stories and we're the only ones that really know how to help each other get through it because, if I go back home and vent to somebody who's not in this environment, they're kind of like, yeah, like, but they don't really get it. You know what I mean? So I think, every time I'm in this environment, I'm really amongst players that are so similar to me. And I think that's a really cool, comforting thing. So, when I'm struggling, I feel like someone else is struggling along with me, but we pull each other up and kind of lean on each other. So I definitely I'm really grateful for this team and these girls that I get to like fight with and struggle with as well together.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm like going through everyone. I mean, I obviously like, I think you would say like family, all that kind of stuff. But I think on top of that, like, I mean, I tell this to Zach all the time, like the team collectively, but like Crystal specifically for me, I think I really would be, I mean, I really don't think I could be on the field in the same way without having that person to fall back on who, regardless of what the day is never judged, never whatever, like knows, hey, this is a venting session. This isn't, this is just for me to hear. And I think that's really important and I'm a huge believer in Chris the same way that people need people. Yeah. And she's my people. Like, regardless of what we're going through.
You're my peeps too.
It's nice to be able to just have a shoulder to cry on when you just don't get it. When life just doesn't, you just don't get it. And I think that's a special moment. And those people that you have in life, and I know Crystal's, her family's amazing, like, and that everyone has their circle. But I think, like, when we talk about the team of understanding, like, Crystal truly understands.
Especially when we spend so much time together. I see you more than I see my parents. Like, you know what I mean? It gets to that point where, like,
more than our husbands.
Exactly. Yeah. Our family
we used
is
to say that.
Our support system. And like,
I see Crystal more than that.
Yeah, like, I'm just like, I can't just get on the phone with my parents or like, vent to them because they're like so far from this environment. And it's like, you need those people here that you are like, man, I gotta talk to you about some stuff. Like, are you available? Yes, you are. Great. Cool. I'm coming, So, this environment.
Yeah. Zach knows when I come back from camp, he's like, even with Crystal this whole time,
I
start saying her mannerisms and like her jokes, and he goes, "That's a Crystal joke," and I go, "You're right. I can't say I took that from mine. She said it and it was really funny, and then I stole it." And he goes, "That's not. You wouldn't have came up with that." I'm like, "You're right.
It's too funny for you." Huh?
Yeah, exactly. He's like that's too funny. Like, you're right.
That's cute. You guys are a gift for each other.
Yeah, we are.
Everyone needs that in life.
No, for sure.
Gosh. Thank you for taking the time, you guys.
Thanks for having us.
It worked out really timely because I just got a hot flash from your bathroom. Like, literally, I just started sweating, like, literally right now. I'm like, perfect, cut. Thanks for the donuts.
Crawl over, Lynn. Go use that pot. They are fun. They are fun. Oh, gosh. That's a lot of giggling. And I do love, Lynn, how competitive Julie Julie got in that game when I was re-listening to it. Did you hear when we said, okay, last question and it's for everything. And she went, because she was up, she was like, no, wait, what? It's for everything? And then you just kept reading. And then at the end, she came back to that. She's like, why is that question for everything? That is not fair.
I'm not going to lie, Jules. I think I started sweating about halfway through that game, and I did not have that great of a tiebreaker.
Step up your tiebreaker game, Len. It can't be that the last question is for everything, Len. When we have put in the work. And Crystal's like, oh, sweet, I win it all? Yes, thank you. And just so neat to hear how close they are. I mean, I had always heard how close they are, but I'd never seen it like that, up close and personal, and that was really neat.
Who was your go-to back in the day?
Who was my go-toer? Oh, well, there were a few of us that were super tight like that, of that veteran group, but I would say Carla Overbeck, because, I mean, we were captains together, and everything we did, it was strategically together. Like, there wouldn't be a move you'd make on the national team in terms of something strategic off the field or on the field without me and Carla consulting and talking. And then just like to have her as a friend in your life. She's just, as you know, everyone talks so highly of Carla. We've got to get her on this podcast because the world needs to know more about Carla Overbeck. She's just one of those women who is so strong and so compassionate and so empathetic, and all of these things wrapped up into one, with the perfect tone as a leader and such a great leader, and so fun to be around. I mean, all these things you want in a friend. And the nice thing with our veteran group is that we had so many of us like that. We had Mia, we had Lil, we had Brandy. I mean, you go down that list of all of us who lived together for so many years. It was a super neat group of women.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
It is truly a family, too, when you sit down with this crop now and get to hear from them. It's super fun. So thanks to Jules and Crystal for taking the time during the Victory Tour to do that. Don't forget, we have Sam Mewis and Rose Lavelle on Thursday and Jill Ellis on Friday. We did both of those not on the pot, no longer the podcast on the pot, much less enticing. As always, Lynn, remember, kids, sing it with us. Laughter permitted.
If the beat doesn't drop, then I can't really be